Hey guys. So, by the title of this video, you might already know what this is about. And I don't really know how to kind of talk about this because it's honestly still very scary for me. And at this point, whenever I'm recording this, I haven't, I've made up my mind, but I'm also like really scared about what that means. And so that's where I'm at. So basically, I've been thinking about quitting my current job for a few months now. It's honestly been a long time coming. Like I've been thinking about this for the past six months, like maybe less than that. Like I did switch into a new role within the same company about 4 or 5 months ago. And so when I switched into that role, I it was a new change. I thought things would get better in the sense of how I felt about my job and what kind of, purpose or fulfillment it was bringing me. But ultimately, I realized that this isn't exactly the space that I want to be in. And just disclaimer, like, nothing is wrong with my job. Like, I have a great team, I have a great manager, I have, great colleagues that I work with and great stakeholders, and I have all the flexibility and it's not a toxic environment at all, which is why like even making this decision was super confusing, and it took me so long to just figure out how I felt about it. Because on one hand, it's if you're in a toxic environment or things are not going well, it's like a little bit easier in ways to make this kind of decision because you're like, yeah, I need to get out of this. It's not a great situation. But like when you're in kind of a, non-toxic environment and it's like everything is fine, like, you know, at least on paper, right? Everything is fine. Like it's harder to make this decision because you're just like, okay, what if I'm making the wrong decision? What if I regret what I do? Okay, now backtracking to why like I even feel this way. Like I think for me, I always felt like working in at this company, working at Cisco was kind of like a temporary thing. Like I knew it was going to be my first job out of college. I wanted it. I wanted all this experience, and I felt like being at a big company would give me that experience. And so far, honestly, in the last like almost 2.5 years that I've been here, it's been an amazing experience, and I could not have asked for kind of a better working environment. And the opportunities that I got for just internal mobility and just learning, I feel like it would have been really hard anywhere else. And I always would, always will be grateful and appreciative of that. But with that being said, it's kind of like for the last few months and a little bit maybe longer than that, I've just been feeling like, okay, I am not super interested in the space that I'm working in the sense that the industry that I'm working in is like computer networking. Like Cisco has traditionally been a hardware company, routers and switches, and now the portfolio has really increased. Now there's all kinds of different products. There's security, collaboration, and now we're moving towards more software-based models. So there's a lot of changes within the company, but it's just not a space that I was super interested in and was excited about. And I don't know, it's at some point I was like okay with that reality, and now I've kind of like have arrived at my threshold where I feel like I need to do something and work on a product or a solution that I'm passionate about if I'm going to stick within the tech industry. And so yeah, that's where we're at right now. And another big thing was just culture situation. Like I work a lot with people who are older than me, who have a lot of tribal knowledge because they've been working at this company for years, or they're like in their 30s, 40s, they've been working in this industry for years. And I've always felt like I was always the youngest one on my team, and I really didn't have the opportunity to work with people that are the same age as me. And that's something I really want. And I think that's something you really get within like a startup. And that's kind of the other big thing for me now is that I want a different kind of working environment. I would like to work at a startup because, there's just so many things happening. You can wear a lot of hats. Things are just much more fast paced and everyone's kind of really mission and goal oriented. And working at a big company has its pros and cons. And one of the cons are, it is a big company. There is a lot of bureaucracy. There's a lot of red tape, and you're kind of like siloed doing like certain things that your role requires, and you might not have that much flexibility. And so, just taking all of this into account and thinking about my next move, I've just been, wanting to make this move. And now the next logical question is kind of like, do I have another job lined up? Like, what is happening here, right? And this is another thing that's just been so kind of frustrating for me in the last few months. I've been recruiting and I've been interviewing for different companies, and like it always there's certain companies that I'm like not excited about, but I'll still interview, and then I realize, wait a minute, like I'm just gonna put myself in the same situation I'm in now if I'm not excited about this role, and then I decide not to take that role. And then there are certain companies that I am passionate about and interested in, and then I interview and I don't get that role, and I've been getting kind of rejected by certain roles. And it's honestly obviously discouraging, and it's this whole recruiting process is obviously really tiring, and it's just all around just really demoralizing. But I realize that, if I wait to get another job for me to quit, like I don't know how long I'll be waiting. And I just feel like I need to give the space for myself and find alternative ways to kind of support myself and just figure out what exactly I want my next move to be. Because I'm in such a weird situation right now where I don't really even know what the next steps would be, like what I'm interested in. Like I've kind of narrowed it down to I want to work within the sustainability space. Like if I think about the big problems that the world is facing, climate change is a big one that I personally connect to and I'm really passionate about. And I would like to work for a company that's kind of building solutions to combat that. And I think that would help me connect to a bigger purpose and resonate more with what I'm working on. Anyway, all this to be said that I'm still confused. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have given myself kind of a date. Like right now when I'm talking to you guys, it's like end of July. I'm taking a big trip in November, and I've given myself the next couple months to just keep recruiting and trying to find a role that works for me. And if I don't find a role that works for me, then I'm probably going to hand in my 2 weeks right before I go on my trip. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And I wanted to record this right now so that you guys get the contextual information. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on how this goes and what ends up happening. Because things can change. And I just wanted to record this and be honest, honestly, because I know a lot of people feel this way. And this is kind of like a new age problem of like wanting to do something you're passionate about versus, our parents and people in older generations were just stuck with the jobs that they had because, that's what you do. And like, your job is something that allows you your lifestyle and pays for your bills. But yeah, I don't know. This is just me ranting and rambling here. But if you guys or if any of you are going through something like this, I just want to let you know that I'm here for you, and I want this to be a space where we can talk about this. And I want to learn from you guys, like what are you thinking? And if you've been in similar situations in the past, what have you done? And how have you made the decision? Because I still don't know, And it feels weird to me to kind of put this out here and be vulnerable like this because I don't know who's going to see this, and like I don't know, my employer will see it at some point, and like I probably won't post this unless I'm actually going to do this. So anyway, this is what's happening, but keep you guys posted regardless. And I love you guys, and I always appreciate you watching my videos and commenting and following me on this journey. But yeah, take care and stay safe, and I'll see you in a new video pretty soon. Bye.